please, no! 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 No!
You don't know the power of the nerd way.
Back in the old days, when comic books were actually good, I really enjoyed the wedding of Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson. I had watched their romance work from, go from just, dating to getting engaged. They got married. It was great. I loved it. It was an evolution of the character that I thought was just wonderful. I mean, Peter Parker, Spider-Man was always getting the muddy end of the stick. I mean, he was just down and out. For him to finally get the girl, for him to get married, for him to actually have a decent life, and to be Spider-Man, it made me feel good. It made me think, you know what? Maybe I can actually have something good in life. Because Spider-Man was the first character that I ever really identified with. And he was just somebody that I clung on to. I mean, when kids would try to pick on me in high school, I'm not high school, sorry, in elementary school and middle school, I would think about what Spider-Man would do. He'd mock the villains and just deal with them. That's what I did. I would mock the bullies mercilessly. I'm sure I'd get my share of, black eyes and stuff, but hey, I didn't back down because Spider-Man didn't back down. So Spider-Man gets married, and I'm like, I can get married now. That's great. That's wonderful. And eventually I did. And she's wonderful. You're watching, I know. But then they did this stupid thing called and Spider-Man decided that he needed to save Aunt May for a little bit. So he went to Mephisto, and he got him to undo his marriage to MJ so Aunt May could hang on a little bit longer. Which is ridiculous. I love Aunt May. But Aunt May's old. Aunt May has to die soon. Let Aunt May die. You got MJ. You can have kids. You can continue the Parker line. On and on and on. The fact that they did this, the fact that Marvel wouldn't let Peter Parker have a monogamous, heterosexual life is insane. No, they had to rip that away from him. And then to take Mary Jane and turn her into what? Like a black cat? Like Felicia Hardy? And now they're putting them together, and there is a rumor that Mary Jane and Felicia Hart, Black Cat, might be part of the Alphabet Mafia. It just, my blood boils. It boils to the point where I just want to scream. I have the comic. I have the comic where Peter and Mary Jane get married. I have it in my box of comics. It is one of my treasured possessions. It was actually one I lost in a flood, but then reacquired later. I love that comic. It is a comic that is near and dear to my heart. And for the fact, and for Marvel, if you're listening, Marvel Comics, Marvel Entertainment, whatever Marvel thing, entity I need to communicate with. For you to do this is the most idiotic and heartbreaking thing ever. I would say there are no words, but then there would be no video. The fact that Marvel does this, well, Marvel does this all the time. If aliens came to Earth and they gobbled up every Marvel and DC comic, they would think 99.9% of America is gay. Let me tell you something. Here's a graphic. Here. 3% of the United States identify as part of the alphabet mafia. 3. That's it. Yet, if you read comics, you'd think everybody was part of that. It's not. We're not. I'm not. I'm the farthest thing from that. It's propaganda. It is something that the leftist, communist comic book writers in Marvel and DC are pushing onto you, the comic book reader. It's a lie. Repeat the lie enough, and you're going to believe it. Well, I'm telling you, it's a lie. 3%. Just 3% of the population of the United States identify as part of the alphabet mafia. Yet Marvel and DC continue to push out comic after comic after comic where every character wants to come out as bi or gay. Although if they come out as bi, it's just gay. You have Tom Taylor and Jonathan Kent. In my opinion, the Tom Taylor thing, that's just a self-insert. Prove me wrong, Tom. He blocked me on Twitter, so he can't really talk to me unless he comments. Do you see me, Tom? The fact that Marvel's doing this, well, it doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me at all. All they're doing is they're looking for clickbait. They're looking for people like me and other YouTubers and anybody else to just put this out and make a big deal about it. Well, I'm making a big deal about it because in the past, when I got the original comic book with Peter and MJ getting married, that was a big deal. I mean, they had every Marvel character in the chapel watching MJ and Peter get married. It was huge. And for them to just erase it is it really hurts. It really hurts to see this MJ and Black Cat thing. It's lazy. It's a lazy hack writing thing to do. Whoever's doing this, whoever's writing this MJ Black Cat comic that's going to be coming out, you're a hack. You're not a real writer. You're an activist who is trying to push an agenda onto whoever reads this comic book and is weak-minded enough to believe this comic. Yeah, weak-minded people love Marvel and DC. Weak-minded people just eat this stuff up like it's manna from heaven. Well, it's not. It's dung from hell. if I have to make some kind of comparison. It's just crap bubbling up off the, bubbling up. And the normies who see this, like all the leftist allies, get this in here, allies.
We love the Alphabet Mafia. We just want them to be represented.
Well, they're overrepresented. And they're going to be overrepresented until somebody gets the balls to go into Marvel and DC and fire these yahoos and actually put real people, real writers in seats who can write real stories. Nobody wants the political angle. Nobody wants this nonsense. All I want as a comic book fan is a good story. I want to see Spider-Man fight the Sinister Six. I want to see Spider-Man fight Kraven. I want to see Spider-Man go after Green Goblin. I don't want to see Spider-Man pining over MJ, seeing her going after Black Cat. Like, oh no, why did I make that deal with Mephisto? No, I'll never have MJ. I'm such a moron. Yeah, you are a moron. Marvel, I really don't know what to say. Let me know in the comments what I should say. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this nonsense. MJ and Black Cat possibly being part of the Alphabet Mafia. Is that something that we should applaud? I'm not applauding it. 3%. 3% people. That's all that identify as part of the Alphabet Mafia. 3%. You're overrepresenting what's going on. And it's getting tiresome. It's getting to the point where even the normies don't even want to read your comic books. My wife is a normie. She hears about this stuff and she rolls her eyes and like, why even bother? You know, I'm lucky. My local comic book shop only sells back issues. They don't sell anything new. Only back issues. So I can go in there and I can browse through everything and not worry about coming upon anything stupid. Like anything 2015 or on with the all new, all different Marvel and their nonsense. Or DC making every character except Batman gay. Well, I'm going to get hate. And as we know, this guy loves hate. Just look at what it says up there. So leave your comments down below. Like, subscribe if I've earned it. If you are not a fan of what's going on in comics, if you're a fan of comics the way they used to be, back in the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, the 70s, the 60s, the Silver Age of comics, the way they used to be, good stories, not political agendas, just good superhero stories. If you like that, let me know in the comments. If you're a if you're a leftist and you like this garbage, let me know in the comments. Put them down there. I'd love to hear it. Like I said, I love hate. I thrive off your hate. So, thank you guys for watching. Again, like, subscribe if I've earned it. Subscribe if you're a fan of old school comics where the political agenda was not what everybody was trying to write about. Thank you all. See you in the next video.